even though the envelope of the cloth isn't looking that great, we can actually change it right in our reference model. The new Delta 2 referencing capabilities allow for us to edit an existing envelope directly within a reference model. It works by storing the changes made to the envelope rather than the envelope itself. If you want to know where the delta can be found, you can have a look underneath the parent object inside of the reference model, and at the very bottom of that reference model you'll find the delta. We already have some things stored in our delta, like the function curves from the plotted action, some of the properties like the character development kit, the motor tagged rig, as well as the constraints in which the gun and hand are attached. So let's add to that. I'm actually going to access my geo group and make sure that it is selectable, which it is there. There are some objects that I actually need to make selectable. I'm going to have to actually paint some of these thighs out as well. So as far as my unselectables go, let's just set the state of that as well. Okay, so those bones are at least now accessible. So if I go in, I can actually just start painting my model. I'll use my W key and begin painting these bones. Alright, so that looks good there. I'll add some weight back to the thigh in some of these areas. Or I could even try doing some smoothing. Again, with the cloth here, it's not going to be perfect. I could also add some push operators to certain areas as weight maps as well. Perhaps if I do some smoothing through here, no, it doesn't seem to want to take. I'll add some bones to the thigh. And that's just pushing the points in here. So let's see about doing something like this. Yeah, it looks like the problem with this is really just the penetration of the cloth and the skin. This is something, of course, we don't have to worry about with Sci-Flex, but we may need to get this perfect for our shots. So what I'm actually going to do is add a weight map. This is one of the neat features of this new referencing system. The fact that you can actually add a weight map as a local property. So if I actually have a look here under my weight maps, you'll notice that everything else, the envelope weights are referenced, but the weight map is actually local. If we have a look in our Delta folder, we could actually find some of those properties. Stored cluster properties. And you can see we have the weight map cluster here. So it's active, and I can actually just paint on it. So I'll activate my paintbrush, and I'll Control W. I'm just going to paint with a little bit of weight here, maybe 10%. I'm going to kind of just add a little bit of influence to the areas that I'm currently having some problems with. Looks good there. I can always add more weight if I need to. And then I'll hook that weight map up to a push map. So I'm actually going to rename this weight map. I'll call this the cloth fix map. And if I select the weight map, the cloth fix map, I'll take that and I'll drive it through a push. So I can actually kind of solve those places. Afterwards, you can even take your weight map and do a little bit of blending to kind of bring everything back together again. Underneath the armpit, again, I could probably just do a little bit of a push there. And so very quickly, we've kind of sorted out our problem. We're not dealing with cloth, we're dealing with a simple representation. And now at least our shots look a little bit better when we put them through previs or at first or second revisions. So all this information now is actually stored in the delta. So if we look in the delta in our stored cluster properties, this is where we'll find all the information that we've written to.